2 years, 89 countries, and my promise, as long as one person's listening and I'm able, I'll keep talking. In this milestone episode, we look back at the conversations that resonated most, from a terrifying elders meeting that caused nightmares, to observations about why elderships quietly fail, to one of the most tender questions a Christian can ever face. How do you respond when someone tells you they're thinking about suicide? It's part celebration, part greatest hits, and part invitation. Pick the story that hits you and pass it on.
Welcome to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. Mr. Barber is a preacher, a ventriloquist, a barefoot runner, and writes 2 blogs. When Jerrie communicates, he encourages people, try not to learn very much. Find a mustard seed. In the next few minutes, try not to learn very much. Look for something you can do to move a mountain, remove a stumbling block, or provide a stepping stone for yourself or someone else. And now, here's Jerrie with this week's mustard seed.
I like birthdays, anniversaries, and parties. Last week marked 2 years of the Gleaning Mustard Seeds podcast. Thank you for listening, telling others about the podcast, and your encouragement. What's been amazing to me is how in the world do people from all over the world hear about this podcast and listen. There have been downloads from 89 countries and territories, 1,223 cities. Here are the top 10 episodes for the past year. Actually 11. There was a tie for number 10. Numbers 10. What preachers wish elders knew about preachers. This episode tells how one preacher answered that question. Observations on a preacher moving. Details I noted after talking with 16 churches over a period of 4 months while I was moving from one congregation to another. Number 9. Suicide questions. How's a good way to respond to someone who tells you they're thinking about killing themselves? How do we answer the question about where a person goes in eternity after suicide? Number 8. Is your preacher the pastor? Often we object to calling our preacher the pastor. What if he in fact is the main person who shepherds the sheep? Number 7. Fleecy clouds. Forward and introduction. This is the recording of the audio version of Gail's book about her life, read by our daughter Christy Parsons. Episode number 6. If you appoint a new elder, I'll quit. This is a practice I began after moving in 1988, following conversations with 16 congregations. Number 5, 12 leadership ideas. 12 ideas that you may not have thought about that can improve leadership in a local church. Number 4, first aid for gossip. Where you find conflict in a church, you'll also find gossip. How should we deal with that? Number 3, you look weird. One of the most unusual, upsetting elders meetings I ever attended. I had nightmares for 3 of the next 4 nights after the elders made a very unusual observation about me. Number 2, elders' job description. One way I've observed elderships decline in effectiveness is by not holding one another accountable. One reason they don't hold each other accountable is that they don't define their expectations. This episode deals with a way to improve that. And the most listened to podcast during the last 12 months, dealing with difficult people. I use myself as a bad example. I reflect on the way I've dealt with difficult people during my 65 years of preaching. fan mail. These are messages I've received from the podcast website during the past year. Names have been changed to the Doe family. Thank you to every person who's taken the time to send me fan mail. Others have sent encouragement through email, text, Facebook, and in person. Here are the messages from fan mail. Jerry, you've covered many pertinent areas that need to be discussed between elders and future preachers. It was refreshing to hear members included in the discussion. I'm in my 70s and have never heard a sermon or class exploring the issues involved in this subject. Jerry, great mustard seed about group guidelines. This is John Doe from Anywhere Church of Christ. I wanted to thank you for sending me the link to Gleaning Mustard Seeds back when you started. I have been encouraged listening to them. I should have sent a note sooner, but in this week's episode, you said you work better with encouragement, and I felt it was past time for me to offer some encouragement to you. I like the short and to-the-point lessons and look forward to hearing them every Monday. Sometimes it's late when I get to them, and sometimes time gets away, and I have to do some catching up, but I always enjoy them. May God continue to bless you and your family in the work in the kingdom. Good afternoon. My name is John Doe. I attend a congregation in central some state. My wife and I moved to the area 13 years ago. The congregation has been without elders for 15 years. I've often discussed our need to reestablishing elders in our business meetings, but I can't seem to generate any desire with the men. Can you point me in a direction or offer some advice to help us in this goal? I feel I'm ready to serve, but of course cannot do this alone. We desperately need elders to shepherd the flock. Hello, Jerry. After listening to this podcast on starting a new congregation, I was wondering what you felt about the split in our church. Thanks for your thoughts. This is Jane Doe. I so enjoy hearing about your experiences and how they help mold you. Hearing the voices of Christy and Braden brings me joy. Jerry's voice brings me courage. I believe I'm the most devoted follower. Listening is sacramental to me. I learned a long time ago that very little ground is gained on the battlefield of arguments by words. I've developed the technique of remaining silent and listening intently as the other side holds forth. Often I say that I'm trying to understand their position and ask them to limit their words to those that they think would help me. Thus I often gain the upper hand. Those were some of the words some of you kind listeners sent me the past year. Often people like to give gifts for birthdays and anniversaries. I'd like to suggest 2 gifts I'd like to receive from you who listen to my podcast. Gift number 1. Please reflect on one of the most interesting episodes of this podcast you've enjoyed and send the link or the title to 2 friends who might also enjoy that episode. You may have to help some of your friends learn how to download and listen to a podcast, or you may have to have one of your grandchildren do that. Gift number 2. Please leave a review on the page or in the app where you listen to Gleaning Mustard Seeds. Thank you for your encouragement the past 2 years. My commitment is that as long as I'm able and at least one person downloads an episode each week, I'll keep talking. I'm putting links in my Buzzsprout website transcript to the top 10 episodes. You can find those in the transcript at that website or send me a text, email, or phone call. Thank you again for listening, and let's keep gathering and planting Mustard Seeds.
Thank you for listening to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. If you found a mustard seed, send a text or email with the link to a friend. This podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Ministry League Network. Ministry League is a global platform dedicated to equipping Christians with the tools they need for ministry, worship, and personal growth. Featuring over 50 podcasts created by members of the Lord's Church, Ministry League provides uplifting and biblically sound content for all ages. Through the Ministry League app, you can access these podcasts, a digital songbook for worship, free Bible study materials, curriculum, and other ministry resources to strengthen your walk with Christ. Don't miss out on the latest updates and podcast episodes. Subscribe to the Ministry League YouTube channel for daily content and exclusive insights into the work of the Lord's Church, or visit ministryleague.com to explore what's possible. Ministry League, equipping you for every good work. Thank you for listening. Jerrie looks forward to next week as we continue to collect and plant mustard seeds.